Hello, everyone. How are you? I've had a slight hiatus from making these YouTube videos because I just was finding that Zoom was just not playing ball. So I recorded some videos for you and there was no video of me. And then at one point there was like something else being shared and not my screen. So I'm really hopeful this works. I'm Claire. I am an engagement consultant and mentor. I absolutely love Substack and I've been teaching about the platform since March this year, so March 2023. This is, I think, the 9th in a series of short YouTube tutorials just to help you to navigate what the platform is. It's an amazing platform to write on. It's an amazing platform to create on and connect on. And I just really wanted to share more of my insight from using the platform since April 2022. And being around for when every new change was introduced. And I think that's been part of the bonus, really, of being there when it was super quiet and I didn't know anybody on there, to kind of being there now where I have over 1,000 subscribers. Thank you all. And also have a lovely depth of connection with my community and run lots of different publications over there and lots of different threads. So today's video is going to be around running multiple publications on the same platform. So on Substack, I'm just going to clean my glasses slightly. I've covered sections before. So Substack let you create sections within your publication. And I have done that for a couple of my different topics that I talk about. So I have a section specifically around my guest posts, which are called Big Dreams and Quiet Ambition. And then I have a section around Substack itself, which I've now birthed a whole new publication around because it was just getting too tangled up. People couldn't find it easily. And that's mainly to do with the fact that 50% of the people that subscribe to my Substack read on the app, and it's not easy to find it via the app. So I decided to set up a whole new publication called Sparkle on Substack, which I've set up this week. And I just feel so much better that it's got a place to house all of the Substack resources that I've been creating. So here we are on my home page here, my explore page. So I'm going to just let you know what happens if you create a second publication or a third publication, as I have on Substack. So you have this little toggle here just along that says dashboard, and you're going to tell Substack which dashboard you want to go into. So we'll go into my new publication. My main publication is called Creatively Conscious. My second publication is shared with a friend and colleague, Laura Oldfield, and that's called Company of Two. The reason we set up that publication was because we specifically wanted to target mothers in the first 10 years of motherhood who are self-employed and running their own business around having children. So we set that up separate to our main publications because that made most sense to be able to find our audience really easily for that. So if I go into Sparkle on Substack, you'll see the dashboard. I've just started this, so it's brand new. I've gone with another color so that I know and recognize when I'm in this publication and not my main one. So the color on my main one is a pink accent and the color on this one is a green accent. And this has all been set up in the last few days, and I've still got quite a bit of work to do, but you'll see it's just like being in your regular publication, but you can just toggle between the two. So if we go back to my main publication, you'll see it changes to pink, which is super helpful. If we go into Company of Two, again, we've got a slightly different pink there. So I know where I am and what I'm writing on. So me as a writer, so me, Claire Venus, my writer profile is attached to all three of these publications. I'm only one writer on Substack, so I write these three publications, one shared with Laura, and I can access them all through the one login. Now, I do have another publication that is for a client where I set up a login that anybody can use. So the reason that I didn't set that up here is because it would have been wholeheartedly confusing to my international audience because it's a Northumberland specific publication. So I just set it up completely separately. So I can't access it through this writer profile. It sits completely separately. But right here on Company of Two, you can click into the recommendations that we've made. So we've started recommending some other Substacks that people might like to, well, I could recommend myself there. There we go. and it gives us the option to write something. I'll do that later. But yeah, so we've started recommending publications from Company of Two. My recommendations on my main account are much larger than this. So this is just us kind of starting and growing this Substack space. And we've got kind of a, a long-term plan around what we want to do with this space. We have podcast content, guest content. It's all really beautiful, but that's that there. Then on statistics, again, it's statistics for the publication. So this publication is really different to my other publication in terms of how people are finding it. What we found is it's mainly people who already use Substack. That's been really interesting to us. But we did some shares via our social channels, but not many people moved over. It was mainly people who were already on Substack and who were reading in the app. So yeah, that was really, really interesting and useful to know. I'm just gonna show you. Yeah, so it's just giving us that network effect there via the Substack network. So I'm just getting the key there. So within the Substack existing accounts and within the platform. So yeah, that's really cool, isn't it? I'm just going to have a look. I wanted to show you the map and I've lost it, but it doesn't matter for this one anyway. I feel like things move about all the time. Or maybe it's subscriber report. Yeah, there we go. So our subscriber report on here is super interesting. It's really different to our main publications. We can have a look at the all-time and we can go into the world map just to see. So yeah, as I expected, I thought the UK would be quite high. So yeah, we've got about 8, I think it was at 70 or 80 subscribers. So, over half of them are coming from the UK and we are just a tiny island. And then obviously we're having a few more in the US and Canada, which is really exciting, and some in Australia. So mainly English speaking countries when we look at it there. You see that our audience overlap makes sense that a lot of the overlap is with me because I've been promoting it as a publication. Also with the lovely Sarah Tasker, probably because she's just got a massive account. She's got, over 30,000 subscribers. I'm not sure how many. And Catherine May's the same. Emma Gannon's also got a huge account, over 20,000 subscribers. So all it's telling me is that my subscribers already subscribe to my publication, Sarah Tasker's, Catherine May's, Emma Gannon, and then the lovely Louisa from Salted, and my friend Sarah as well, probably because Sarah's promoted us, to be honest. So this is really good to have a think about and to see in terms of when you're setting your publication up, like what you feel would be a good way to grow it, obviously is going to depend on what the topic is that you're covering and whether it's very similar in tone and identity to your main publication or whether it's a completely different thing. I think that it's really interesting to think about writing under a ghost name, especially for writers who are curious about growing their creative voice and not having people like, your Aunt Flo or whoever connected to you. Like, you just want that space, don't you? And Substack felt so spacious to me when I first joined because nobody knew me there. So I could really express what it was that I wanted to say in this new way where nobody kind of discovered me until I started telling people about the fact that I was writing on Substack. And for those of you that don't know the history, the reason that I wanted to start writing on Substack is my husband was very sick with post-COVID fatigue, long COVID, and we had a very young baby at the time, and life was just so intense. Like, I needed an outlet to express how I felt and to feel like I could just say what I wanted to say without, boring my social media people about it, because, I had people on there who were friends, family, people, clients who'd bought into my business and bought my services and mentoring offers. And I just sort of felt like I wanted a whole new space. And Substack really was that for me, and still is, to be honest. Like, I feel like it's been very, very supportive since I've started on Substack, and I'm like 15 months down the line now. So in terms of running multiple publications under one writer profile, this is it. So I've shown you the toggle there. It's super, super easy. You just toggle between the 2, 3 in my case. And then your writer profile here, this is just you, right? So this is your writer profile. So that's going to be attached to all 3 of those publications for me. And as I scroll down, it's going to have my main publication there, and then the other 2 publications that I write as well, and then everything that I read. Now, for a while, I had Company of 2 turned off because I was focused on growing my publication and not confusing people about what my other publication was. So I wanted people to understand who I was, what I was writing about, to get into a flow with reading my Friday emails, which have been about creativity on Substack, to get used to reading my monthly emails and all that sort of thing. And so I actually hid Company of 2 from this page because I thought it would be confusing. But now, and especially now I've got the 3rd publication, Substack have made it really easy for it to be really obvious what people can subscribe to. So they don't subscribe to you as a writer, they subscribe to a publication. So they'd have to put their email address in 3 times to read these 3 different publications. I hope that makes sense. And yeah, that's where I'm going to leave it for this video in terms of running 2 different publications on Substack. Remember, you can always use a completely separate email address if you want to have a whole new writer profile, if that's something that interests you, if you want to ghostwrite, or if there's something that you want to set up that feels like you might want other people to log into. You can attach other writers to your writer profile. So I work for a huge American client who has multiple writers, so 10 writers attached to the one Substack. So you can easily add more writers to one platform, one profile on Substack, one publication. So I think that's it. If you've got any questions, let me know in the comments below, and hopefully I'll be back next week with another video if my tech works, and I shall see you all really soon.